Have you ever poured your heart out in prayer, only to feel like heaven was silent? You prayed for healing, and the sickness continued. You asked for a job, and the rejection email arrived. You begged God to protect your children, and they still walked down paths that broke your heart. In those moments, prayer feels like shouting into the void. You begin to wonder, God, are you listening? Do you care? But what if the silence isn't absence? What if the delay isn't denial? What if what feels like a no is actually God answering in a way you don't yet see? Today, we're going to walk together through one of the most powerful stories in Christian history, the story of Saint Monica, a mother who prayed for her wayward son Augustine for decades. She prayed with tears, she prayed with fasting, she prayed with hope even when it felt hopeless. At one point, she even begged God to block Augustine from leaving for Italy. That prayer seemed unanswered. Augustine went anyway. But in Italy, Augustine met a man who would forever change his life, Saint Ambrose, Bishop of Milan. Through Ambrose, Augustine's restless heart found the truth in Christ. The very moment Monica thought God ignored her was the moment. God was answering her deepest prayer. If you've ever wondered why God seems silent, why prayers seem ignored, Monica's story is for you. And by the end of this video, I want you to see your unanswered prayers in a new light.
A quick pause. If life's been feeling a little too heavy lately, and you're tired of pretending you're okay, I hear you. I made something for people exactly in that space. It's called Dear You. Don't give up. That 21-day journey with daily Bible verses, honest reflections, saintly wisdom, and short heartfelt prayers. It's like a daily whisper from heaven when you need it most. No pressure. But if that sounds like something your soul's been quietly asking for, the link's pinned in the comment section or check description box below. Take a look.
Let's begin by stepping back in time. It's the 4th century in North Africa. Christianity is spreading, but so are competing philosophies and religions. In the city of Tagaste, a woman named Monica lives a life of deep faith. She is a Christian, but her life is not easy. Her husband Patricius is a pagan, hot-tempered, and unfaithful. She endures his moods, his betrayals, and prays for him constantly. Eventually, her prayers lead to his conversion before his death. But her greatest trial is not her husband. It is her son, Augustine. Brilliant, restless, eloquent. From a young age, Augustine showed extraordinary intelligence. Monica hoped his gifts would glorify God, but Augustine wanted nothing to do with his mother's faith. He chased pleasure, fathered a child outside of marriage, pursued fame as a speaker, and fell into a false religion called Manichaeism. Monica's heart broke daily. She prayed constantly. She followed Augustine with her prayers and even with her feet, tracking him down when he tried to run from her influence. She fasted. She wept. She never stopped begging God for her son's conversion. At one point, Augustine announced he was leaving for Italy. Monica prayed desperately that he would not go. She thought keeping him close was the only way he would come back to God, but God didn't stop him. Augustine left, and here's the mystery. In Italy, Augustine encountered Ambrose, Bishop of Milan. Ambrose's preaching was unlike anything Augustine had ever heard. His wisdom, intellect, and holiness captivated Augustine. Slowly, Augustine's heart opened. Eventually, Ambrose baptized him. The prayer Monica thought God ignored was the way he answered her deepest desire. Augustine's trip to Italy, which she begged God to prevent, was the path God used to bring her son home to the faith. That is what we're exploring today. The mystery of unanswered prayer. How God's no is often his greater yes, and how Monica's tears became the seeds of one of the greatest conversions in history. Let's be honest. All of us know the pain of unanswered prayer. A mother prays for her son to break free from addiction. Years pass, relapse after relapse. She wonders if her prayers matter. A man prays for a job to provide for his family. Interview after interview fails. He wonders if God cares. A young couple prays for a child. Month after month, disappointment. Their faith is stretched to the breaking point. You've probably felt this in your own life. Maybe you prayed for healing. Maybe for reconciliation in your marriage. Maybe for direction in your career. And heaven seemed silent. Saint Monica knew that pain. She prayed for Augustine's conversion for more than 17 years. Imagine that. Nearly 2 decades of praying, fasting, and weeping while watching your child wander further from God. He chased pleasure. He joined false religions. He mocked her faith. At one point, Monica asked a bishop for help, and he told her, "The child of those tears shall not perish." He reassured her that God had heard her, but still, she had to wait. Prayer is not a vending machine. You don't put in a request and get the result instantly. Prayer is relationship. It is trust. And sometimes, silence is not absence. It is preparation. Monica begged God to stop Augustine from going to Italy. She thought she knew best, but God allowed Augustine to go. Why? Because the no to Monica's immediate request was the yes to her deepest prayer. In Italy, Augustine met Ambrose. Ambrose became the mentor, the spiritual father, the instrument God used to answer Monica's prayers. Think about your own life. How many times have you prayed for something specific, only to get the opposite? You prayed for a relationship to work out, but it ended. You prayed for a job, but didn't get it. You prayed to stay in one place, but circumstances forced you to move. And later, you saw that the closed door led you to something better. The breakup opened the way to a healthy marriage. The lost job opened the path to a fulfilling career. The move brought you to a church community that changed your faith. God's no is often His greater yes. Monica didn't get the answer she wanted in the moment, but she received the answer she had prayed for all along: Augustine's conversion. What kept Monica going? Perseverance. She didn't quit. Augustine himself wrote about her in his Confessions. He said, "She wept for me more than mothers weep for the bodily deaths of their children." That's how deeply she prayed. Think about that. Most of us give up after a few weeks or months. Monica prayed for nearly 20 years. Her tears were constant. Her prayers were relentless. Do you persevere like that? Or do you give up when God seems silent? Monica's example calls us higher. God's timing is not ours. The wait may be long, but it's never wasted. Modern parallel. Parents today praying for children who have left the church. A mother praying for her daughter to return to the sacraments. A father praying for his son to leave behind destructive habits. They don't see change right away. But Monica's example says, don't stop. Keep going. Persevere. Ambrose is the hidden key to this story. Augustine respected intellect. He was drawn to brilliant minds. Ambrose combined wisdom with holiness. When Augustine arrived in Milan, he was captivated by Ambrose's preaching. Ambrose didn't just explain scripture. He embodied it. He showed Augustine that Christianity wasn't foolish or shallow. It was profound and intellectually satisfying. Through Ambrose, Augustine began to reconsider everything. Ambrose didn't argue him into faith. He loved him, guided him, and pointed him to truth. This is how God often works. He uses people in our path: a friend, a mentor, a priest, a teacher. God answers prayers through human relationships. Think about your own life. Who has God sent to guide you? Maybe a pastor who preached a sermon that spoke directly to your heart. Maybe a friend who encouraged you when you were ready to give up. Maybe even a stranger who said the one thing you needed to hear. That's how God works. He uses people, just like he used Ambrose for Augustine. Why did God take so long to answer Monica's prayers? Why 17 years? The truth is, Augustine wasn't ready. He needed to experience the emptiness of the world. He needed to wrestle with falsehood, to feel the dissatisfaction of sin, so that when he encountered Christ, he surrendered completely. If Augustine had converted earlier, maybe it would have been shallow, temporary. But because he had tasted the world and found it empty, his conversion was total. This is the mystery of God's timing. What feels like delay to us is preparation in his plan. Modern parallel. You pray for healing, and it doesn't come right away. Maybe the delay leads you to a deeper dependence on God. You pray for a spouse, and the years drag on. Maybe the wait prepares your heart for a stronger marriage. You pray for a career opportunity, and doors keep closing. Maybe God is preparing you for something bigger, something you can't yet see. So what about you? What's the prayer you've prayed for years? A parent praying for their child's faith. A husband praying for reconciliation in his marriage. A patient praying for healing. A worker praying for stability. And it feels like silence. Think about Monica. She thought God ignored her when Augustine went to Italy. But that trip was the very thing that brought him to Ambrose and to Christ. Your unanswered prayer may be the setup for God's bigger answer. His silence may be the preparation for something you can't see yet. So keep praying, keep trusting, keep waiting. Don't quit. The Bible reminds us again and again that God hears us. Isaiah 55:8-9. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. God's plan is higher. Romans 8:28. We know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. Even delays, even detours. Luke 18:1. Jesus told a parable to show them they should always pray and not give up. These verses echo Monica's story. Pray without ceasing. Trust God's plan. Believe he is working even when you can't see it. Here's the beauty. Augustine didn't just convert. He became one of the greatest saints and theologians in Christian history. His writings shaped Western Christianity. His confessions remain one of the most powerful spiritual autobiographies ever written. His book, The City of God, still influences theology and philosophy today. Think about it. Monica's prayers didn't only save her son. They gave the world one of its greatest saints. That's the ripple effect of prayer. You may think you're praying for one thing, but God is doing something far bigger, something that will bless generations. So why does it feel like God doesn't answer our prayers? Because sometimes his answers don't look like what we expect. He may say no to one request in order to say yes to a greater one. He may delay because he's preparing us, or preparing someone else for a deeper work. Monica's story teaches us that God always hears, always cares, always answers. Her tears weren't wasted. Her faith wasn't wasted, and neither is yours. When you pray and feel unheard, remember Monica. Remember Augustine. And remember that God's silence is never the end of the story. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a prayer that felt unanswered, but later you realized God had answered in a deeper way? Share your story in the comments. If this video gave you hope, please like it. Share it with a friend who needs encouragement. And subscribe for more content that strengthens your faith. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video.
Yes, you, the one who's smiling but silently fighting deep inside. This is something that can help you stay strong, something that feels like a heaven-sent gift. This ebook, titled Dear You, Don't Give Up, is a 21-day journey, like a love letter from heaven, written just for you. If you're tired, confused, or simply need a reminder that hope still exists, then this is it. This is your sign. What are you still waiting for? This ebook is almost free. Yes, whatever amount you can give, starting from just $3, you can get it. Just check the link in the comment section and let your heart begin to heal.
I appreciate you taking the time to watch and be here. If this video resonated with you or touched your heart, please consider supporting the channel by buying me a coffee. Simply scan the QR code or click the link in the description below. Your generosity keeps this mission alive. See you soon. God bless.